Philip answered him, 200 denarii worth of bread is not sufficient for them, that every one of them may have a little. John 6, verse 7. While Andrew, John, Peter, and probably James all found Jesus directly or indirectly through the ministry of John the Baptist, Philip is the first disciple to seek Jesus. John writes, the next day Jesus wanted to go to Galilee, and he found Philip and said to him, follow me. Apparently, Philip was also in the desert with John the Baptist. And before returning to Galilee, Jesus pursued him and invited Philip to join the other disciples. Clearly, Philip already had a searching heart. Proof of this can be seen in how he responded to Jesus. Philip found Nathanael and said to him, we have found him about whom Moses wrote in the law and also the prophets, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. Of course, a searching heart is always evidence that God sovereignly draws the person, for as Jesus said, no one can come to me unless the Father who sent me draws him. Philip and Nathanael, like the first 4 disciples, had studied the law and the prophets and were seeking the Messiah. That is why they had all gone to the desert in the first place to listen to John the Baptist. So when Jesus came to Philip and said, follow me, his ears, eyes, and heart were already open, and he was ready to follow. Philip was ready. He was full of anticipation. His heart was prepared, and he received Jesus joyfully, without hesitation, as Messiah. No reluctance, no disbelief. He knew immediately that he had come to the end of his search. Frankly, that is nothing to Philip, and it shows the extent to which the Lord had prepared his heart. His natural inclination might have been to hold back, doubt, question, and wait and see. Usually, he was not such a decisive person, but fortunately, in this case, he was already being drawn to Christ by the Father. And as Jesus said, all that the Father gives me will come to me. Philip's natural inclinations were on full display just before Jesus fed the 5,000. John 6, verse 5 says, then Jesus lifted up his eyes, and seeing a great multitude coming toward him, he said to Philip, where shall we buy bread that they may eat? Why did he pick out Philip and ask him? John tells us, this he said to test him, for he himself knew what he would do. Philip was apparently the apostolic administrator, the bean counter. Whether official or unofficial, he seems to have been the one who was always concerned with organization and protocol. He was the type of person who says in every meeting, I don't think we can do that, the master of the impossible. And apparently, as far as he was concerned, almost everything fit into that category. Philip had already prepared his calculations. Philip answered him, 200 denarii of bread is not enough for them, that each of them may have a little. He had apparently considered the difficulties of food supply from the moment he first saw the crowd. Instead of thinking, what a great opportunity, Jesus is going to teach this crowd. What a great opportunity for the Lord. All the pessimistic Philip could see was the impossibility of the situation. As a result, he lost the opportunity to see the reward of faith. As Jesus taught his disciples elsewhere, if you believe as a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. Philip had to learn that lesson. Everything seemed impossible to him. He had to put aside his materialistic, pragmatic, down-to-earth concerns and learn to hold on to the supernatural potential of faith. Philip was a man of limited abilities, weak faith, and imperfect understanding. He could be skeptical, analytical, pessimistic, reticent, and uncertain. He was slow to understand, slow to trust, and slow to see beyond immediate circumstances. If we were interviewing Philip for the role Jesus gave him, we might say he is not suitable. But Jesus said, he is exactly what I'm looking for. My strength is made perfect in weakness. Fortunately, the Lord still uses people like Philip today, many of them.